Hi, in this video, I'll show you how to create a new Edlink account. Some of the existing providers, you may have already noticed that we have updated our security. However, the creation of your account has not changed in itself, only when we get to the Edlink portion. So let's move on to create your account. And just a few things to keep in mind, you'll be entering all of your own personal information, not your centers. Now, if you're in-home, family home, or FCC, you will more than likely, it will be one and the same, so don't worry. But please, if you work for a center, enter your own address, phone number, email. Okay, there's a very important purpose for that. If you were to change employment or lose access to a specific server, then it makes it very, very challenging to regain access to your Edlink account, which is in essence and is the goal for it to be a virtual portfolio for you. It makes it very difficult for a new location to add you to their employee roster, okay? So having said all that, make sure you have an accessible email on hand ready, because you will have to get into that as soon as we enter a little bit of information. So let's get started. So the address that you're going to go to is up in the top URL up here. That's ldoe.edlink.la.gov. And please make sure you don't put a plural on that Edlinks. Okay, it's Edlink, no S. All right, once you're on that site, you'll see the little boy and the little girl that you see here on the screen. We're going to go straight into create an account. Again, you should not ever set up more than one account. If you have multiple locations, it will all go onto one account and be seen on one dashboard. Please do not set up more than one account. Okay, so here we're explaining what Edlink, the system is, and what MyLA does. Okay, so take a moment to read that. You can always pause it. Okay, we're going to continue to MyLA down in the bottom right over here. All right, so now you should be on a MyLA page. It'll have MyLA with a key next to it and 5 people fist bumping in the middle, okay? I want you to scroll down to section 1, and I want you to enter your information. Okay, this is your information, not the schools or the centers, okay? So put your information here, just how you would see it on your background check. Okay, your user ID, this cannot be your email. Okay, make sure that you think of a user ID that's easy to remember, but I want you to write all this down anyway, okay? I want you to write your user ID down before you go any further. And when you set your password, I want for you to do the same. Now, I know you're probably thinking, we are always told never to write these down. Well, in this instance, it's okay. You can always destroy it later, the paper, but there are too many providers that don't write it down. And then by the time we log in about 10 minutes, they do not recall their password or their user ID. So make sure that you write these down. And I'm actually writing them down myself as I'm doing this with you, okay? Now, your user ID will never be changed. And you can change your email, which will be in another video. But for the moment, just keep that in mind. You cannot change your user ID once it's in there. It's set in stone. Okay, a new PIN. We're just going to pick 6 random numbers. You won't use these numbers, but we do need to do it as a formality to get to the next part. Okay, this is used for the MyLA system. Right, you won't be using this, so you do not need to write that down. Okay, but look for these green checks on the side. That means that your passwords match, your PIN numbers match each other anyway. Okay, now when we get down to the telephone part, okay, you only have to put numbers in. You do not have to format it, no punctuation or anything else, okay? All right, so this part is critical. you're going to be using your own personal email. Please do not use the school email. Okay, the center school, because you may not have access to it at some point, and then you will not be able to retrieve your account. Okay, so let's make sure that we have written down our user ID, and we've written down our password, and we've written down the email that we use to register. And that is very important because many of us have multiple emails, and it does get confusing as to what we used for which account. Okay, and when you're ready, we're going to hit create your account. And this is what you should see right here. You should see a little yellow banner. Your account is created, but it's unverified. And it tells you what you need to do here. So in summary, you're going to go to the email that you used to register, and we'll do that. Okay. All right, we're just going to wait for that to pop up here. Our email just came in. So as you can see, it's going to be from Louisiana-account. It will not go to your spam or trash. Okay, it will come to your inbox. So action is required. We're going to click on here, and we're going to read the top part or the bottom, depending on your language preference. The top is English. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to confirm your email. You only have 24 hours to do this, so keep that in mind. Once you start this process, it's good to go ahead and finish it straight through. All right, so we are going to click on confirm your email, and you'll receive your account is confirmed. Okay, so now instead of clicking on resume your journey, I'll show you what that looks like, but we just really need to sign into Edlink. We don't have to necessarily do this, but you can see a few different items here. You can sign in this way. Okay, and we can see our account information as far as what what is entered into the system at this moment. Okay, and see, I'm so glad I wrote mine down. Okay, because I have a lot of passwords all day long, as I'm sure that you do too. Okay, so we're going to sign in. All right, so if you have forgotten your email, in other words, you no longer have access to an email, this would be where you would change that, okay? You would just simply go to that MyLA page with the fist bumps in it, which would be myla.gov, okay? And you could change your email right here. Okay, and you could change your telephone number here as well. Now, once you do that, though, when you do update contact, you will need to go to the new email that you put in here and reconfirm that email before you can proceed into your account again. So keep that in mind. Anytime you make changes, you're going to have to confirm those changes via email before you can continue and sign back in, okay? All right, so we've already confirmed, so it's okay if we just close this out. Okay, so we're gonna we can close this out. Let's close that one out, and let's just go back into our Edlink ops here. And we're gonna go back at the bottom and back to this page. Now, if you've lost sight of this, check your minimized applications at the bottom of your screen or at the top of your screen, depending on what your preferences are set at. Okay, or you can just go back up to a new tab. You can open a new tab and type back in edlink.ops, OPS, and choose the first link. Or you can put this address back into the URL and then hit enter. Okay, the goal is just to get back here to this main landing or sign in account here, okay? All right, so now we have a confirmed account or confirmed email. So we're going to sign in because we want to finish the process. Okay, So I have already signed in or put my credentials in, it saved them. Now, this is very important for you to do. If you are logging in as somebody else's with somebody else's credentials, you will need to set up your own account. Okay, so every staff member, every director and designee needs to have their own account the way that you're setting yours up right now. Okay, and if you're sharing a computer with somebody, if it's a home computer or if it's in a center, then let's familiarize ourselves later on, if there's time after this video, to using your incognito options so that you're not pulling from anybody else's history. All right, so we're going to sign in. Okay, so don't be alarmed. This is what you're going to see. This is part of the new Edlink security, okay? So what we need to do first is we're going to click here to go to user profile. And all of these instructions are also available on your Edlink training page. They were just uploaded. Okay, but we're going to click here. Okay, so now we have to verify our Edlink account. It will list the email that you registered with right here. Okay, in order to activate your profile, you're going to go to that email, retrieve a verification code. It's best just to copy and paste it, and then bring it back here to this page and paste it and hit submit, and I'll walk you through that. Before I do that, I want to discuss the email issue again. So if you see your email here, let's say you're an existing provider and have been for 5, 6 years, 5 to 20 years, whatever. Okay. And you see an email here that you haven't had access to in a very long time. That was the original email that you signed up with perhaps at launch in late 22. But you can't get back into it again. And retrieving a password is not an option. Maybe you don't even have access to the server or anything anymore. And that's no biggie. You're going to return to the MyLA. We're going to just grab a page here. Okay, we're going to return to MyLA. Okay, and hit enter. Well, we don't want baby names, so let's do this. Here we go. We'll just scroll down right here to MyLA 1 account. There we go. Okay, and since you've already entered your credentials in the first MyLA credential box, and it took you to your account in security, even though it's not verified yet. Once you hit that link that I just gave you, the one that you see in the URL, the myla.gov, my.la.gov, it's going to take you to this place to change your information. Okay, so here's where you're going to change your email and update your phone number if you need to. Don't worry about putting any other information in. You do not need to. Okay, and then you're just going to update your information. Okay, so we're going to change the phone number. So I don't want to necessarily change the email. Okay, but I'm going to do update contact. Now for your phone, okay, it's letting us know that it was updated successfully. The email, when you change your email, you will have to go to your email, wait for that particular email right here. Okay, this is our verification code. And you'll pick up this verification code, whether you're changing your email or you're verifying for the first time. So I'm going to highlight it and copy. And I'm going to go right back to here. I'm just going to go ahead and type in my Edlink ops and get that landing page again. And remember, you can pause this at any time and replay it. That's the wonderful thing about the video, okay? So if I'm moving too fast or I've confused you, then just hit pause or rewind, okay? So we're going to sign in now. Okay, let's see what we got here. Well, I guess we can wait to do that. There's what I was looking for a minute ago. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and paste. Okay, so when you are doing your email verifications, just leave all your pages open. That way you can retrieve them again. So once you get your verification number, look for Edlink Security Access tab. That's the one that's going to contain your box here that you paste it back into. Okay, and we are going to hit submit. Now you're going to see the MyLA one more time. Okay, my credentials are saved in there. I'm going to hit sign in. And now I'm in. I've verified my Edlink account. So now we go to the Edlink landing page, which I should have left open in the beginning. So just leave that page open. In other words, you just open new tabs if you need to, but leave them open for now. It's fine. Okay, we're going to sign in. Feels very redundant, like we've done this a million times as far as signing in. All right, so this is what the first page is going to look like that you're navigated to in Edlink. Okay, it's a new user personal profile. So once you complete this, it'll have your name here when you sign in. So let's go through this. The user account type for all of you are going to be early childhood, that very first one. And your information is already there to a certain degree. You have your email, your MyLA user ID, and that MyLA user ID can be used across the board for all state applications in the future. Okay, so we're going to put your phone number. Now, I know that that hover bubble says the center's phone number, but please put your phone number. As a matter of fact, those will be removed here shortly. Okay, so put your private phone number. And your email address is already there. There's no need to change it there. If you do, it will only confuse the system. Leave things alone if you have already dealt with your email, if there was an issue. Okay, so here we're going to put 5678 Blackbird Road. Okay, in the city. And again, those bubbles, you know, it's asking for your center information. This is your physical address. Okay, you're not going to be sent mailers and anything like that. This is simply for identification. So now if this is the same as your mailing address, just hit copy to mailing and it pops over. Personal information. This area is very critical. We sync your CCCBC status to their system using your social security number and your date of birth and your name. So please make sure that these are correct. You have to be over 16, but under 100. Okay, so for the social, okay, and then identification, this is just your driver's license in most cases, but this hover bubble is valid here, so you can use any type of documentation as long as it's a state or federal issued ID, okay? Issuing state, and if you didn't notice on the address, Louisiana is always at the top. It's not between K and M. Okay, so we're going to put our gender and our race. Now here, I want you to really check this over. Make sure everything is correct for you. Make sure that your name is correct. And I say this because if you use the pre-populate option or the auto-populate, it will shift information and split information with other users who've recently used your computer. And that is a bear to try to separate for you guys, okay? Too many databases, it's a lot of work. All right, so please double check everything. Okay, and your social security number, your date of birth, okay. And if you're happy with what you put there, hit save and submit. All right, so I have a near match user simply because I've used that social security number before, and that's okay. So by having a near match, and some of you may get the near match too, if you do, you won't be issued a staff ID, okay? And we'll need for you to fill out an Edlink support ticket, and I will show you where to do that. So on this next page, we can type in Edlink training. All right, it's that first link, Edlink Training and Support. All right, and while we're here, here's a calendar of all my training sessions. The links are live on that PDF, but for now, there's nothing that I can do for you in those training sessions. This is something that will have to be approved by a developer. So you're going to click here on this little line, and you're going to submit a trouble ticket. And if you could, just make sure that you can take a picture of that error that you received, or you can refer to it as a near match, explain to the developers and the help desk very clearly what message you received. Okay, so if you do receive an error, try to get a picture of it or a screenshot of it. All right, so I'm going to leave that open for right now and go back to my Edlink. Okay, because I'm going to show you what an account looks like that's completed. Okay. Since we can't go any further on this, you have to wait until your ticket gets processed through and that near match is resolved. Once it is, you'll be issued a staff ID. You'll be able to log back into your account. Okay, and then you'll be good to go. All right, so let me show you an active account.